Welcome back, Tribe. You're about to hear one of the chats from the private school community. Links are in the description below if you're interested in joining, as well as a quick thank you to everybody that started booking private consultations. We've opened up a free Discord as well. All of this will be linked in the description below. Take a listen. Let me know what you guys think. Okay.
So you can read the stars. Are they always right?
Usually. Some nights it can be difficult to interpret them.
There are 5 crucial steps involved in learning how to develop into the kind of self-disciplined achiever who never quits and never loses sight of his or her goal. The first step is to rekindle and refuel your vision and purpose every single day. Remind yourself daily of the rewards and benefits that await you when you successfully realize your goal. The emotion you draw from these constant reminders of why you're working so hard and giving up so many things will sustain your powers of persistence and perseverance. The second step is to firmly anchor the following attitude deep within your heart and mind. I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Nothing is impossible for me to achieve if I want it badly enough and am willing to pay the price for it. No matter how much hard work it takes, no matter how long it takes, no matter how difficult it is, I can and will achieve my goal. Step 3. Realize that obstacles are going to arise and setbacks are going to occur. Keep in mind that these difficulties are really opportunities to learn. Every obstacle that you overcome, every setback you bounce back from, strengthens your character and makes you smarter and stronger. Whatever you do, don't try to hide from or ignore problems. They never go away by themselves. Meeting challenges squarely and solving problems creatively is at the heart of self-discipline and at the heart of achievement. Those things that hurt instruct. When your progress seems blocked, it means that it's time to increase your knowledge and look for creative solutions. This is the 4th step in developing persistence and perseverance. You may be doing the wrong things for the right reasons, and now is the time to find out. Start experimenting with taking different paths to your destination. But whatever you do, don't quit. Most people quit when things don't work out as they plan, or when they realize how much hard work they're going to have to do. Remember, a failure is someone who has not learned from his mistakes. Step 5. Turn your work into fun. Make what you have to do into something you want to do. Working towards a lifelong goal shouldn't feel like a sacrifice, because that goal is what you want more than anything in the world. Your long road to success will turn into an exciting journey of knowledge, discovery, challenge, and reward. The real problem arises when a major setback occurs, especially if it's unforeseen. A seemingly insurmountable obstacle is often enough to make even the most determined achiever decide that the fight simply isn't worth it. Setbacks make people give up just at the point when they should not. How can you deal successfully with setbacks? How can you learn not to feel like a failure when it suddenly seems that all of your hard work may have been for nothing? There are 5 ways you can turn every setback you encounter into a learning experience. First, never try to ignore a problem or handicap. Deal with your problems directly. Don't avoid them or try to hide from them. When you have a problem, study it from all angles and try to determine the best way to proceed. Which brings us to our second point. Don't blame other people for your setbacks, and don't chalk it up to bad luck. You make your own luck in this life, and you have to solve your own problems. Learn to tackle them head-on, being as realistic as possible and as level-headed as possible. Third, continually strive to strengthen your qualities of self-discipline. Setbacks often occur because of weaknesses in certain areas. Try to turn those weaknesses into strengths. Be your own severest critic, but not your own worst enemy. Don't tell yourself, I failed. Tell yourself, I slipped, but I'm going to pick myself up and go on. Fourth, in almost every setback, there's a seed of opportunity, a silver lining, if you will. Find it and use it. You may find yourself taking a slightly different path to achieving your goal than you first imagined, but you'll get there just the same. Take the new path and see where it leads you. Following this philosophy helps take the emotional sting out of setbacks and is a good antidote for discouragement. And it's a healthier way to react to a bad situation than deciding to give up. Fifth, always remember that no matter how difficult a problem is, or how insurmountable it seems, there's always a solution. A problem is only really a problem if you think you can't solve it. If you take the attitude that every problem has a solution, and you approach your problem with an open and creative mind, you'll find that solution. The key to reaching any goal is to develop the strength of character that makes you refuse to give up, no matter how bad things look. The most amazing thing about persistence and perseverance is that they make it almost impossible for you not to succeed in your endeavors. In the years to come, you'll find yourself learning from trial and error, from accomplishments, from setbacks, from disappointments, from rewards, from the feeling of satisfaction you get when a job has been well done. The more you achieve, the more you'll learn one of the greatest secrets of achievement. Success breeds success. Every small step you take on the road to your goal will make it easier to take the next step. And once you've achieved your goal, you'll probably find that there's another goal you want to achieve. Along the way, you'll delight in the process of watching yourself in action, making corrections in your methods and strategies as you strive toward your ultimate goal and the hundreds of smaller goals you will successfully reach on the way. You uncovered the master key to your highest potential, self-discipline. We define self-discipline as the ability to work systematically and progressively toward a goal. To become positively obsessed with that goal, and to let that obsession lead you to accomplishment. There is no other way to be successful except through hard work. The words "pay for" shouldn't bother you. All accomplishments come with a price tag, just like something you might want to buy. You should also be willing to make sacrifices in order to reach your goal. You may have to give up time, recreational activities, other priorities in your life. But it won't be difficult to do, because reaching your goal will become a more important source of pleasure. Self-disciplined achievers have a strong sense of purpose. They have a cause or direction to which they have chosen to dedicate their lives. This cause gives them meaning in their lives and a reason to exist. Those possessing an iron will dwell on the fulfillment of their vision rather than on fear and failure. They have a positive attitude toward themselves and their goal and refuse to let setbacks get them down. The self-disciplined achiever has a deep-rooted belief in his or her ability to achieve. They know that a goal can never successfully be reached in a haphazard way. They understand that they must map out a blueprint for success if they are ever to realize their highest ambitions. People who achieve their goals do so through persistence and perseverance. They are stubborn in their efforts to achieve, and they never give up. Self-disciplined achievers have a mature attitude toward pleasure. Rather than seeking any diversion that will temporarily make them feel better, they take the most pleasure in doing the work that will help them achieve their goal.
Excellent. Any thoughts?
It talks a lot about reaching goals,
Mhm.
and I noticed the phrase map out a blueprint on success mentioned,
Mhm.
but not a lot about actually how to set goals appropriately and manage your own expectations on that. And considering that a lot of people, maybe this group of people is different, I'm not sure, but are motivated by scarcity and comfort, not necessarily abundance. I'd like to kind of dig in a little bit more as to how you set goals calibrated towards that.
towards abundance and not scarcity, like out of fear, moving instead out of your own will. Is that what you're asking?
Correct.
Okay. So unfortunately, all that stems usually from procrastination because most people live pretty soft lives where they have a plan B or a bailout, or the consequences obviously aren't severe enough. So it's not until they reach the very end of their rope that they start to move. Now, for those that self-motivate, this is the key here, and we talk about it in the Psycho-Cybernetics book. It's crystallizing the image you have of yourself as your future successful, the perfect guy you want to be, your dream self. You have to see this so clearly in your mind that it gets you excited to get up. You have to wake up every day. Essentially, I wouldn't want to even call it meditation, but you have to think and ask yourself who you are, what you want to be, what you're working for. But it's not just questions that you think about in some linear fashion. You have to actually go in your brain, close your eyes, imagine that man. Imagine you're wearing the suit, you're driving the car, you're getting on the plane, you're walking into your office. You have to elicit an emotional response manually. The way music will elicit an emotional response in your favorite song that gets you going in the gym, whatever it is, a scene from a movie, those emotional triggers are what would get you moving in the very beginning. So I recommend every guy, when I say you have to visualize this so vividly, man, that you feel like you're there. It's only when you convince yourself, play pretend like we were kids. We lost our imaginations, guys. That was one of the most powerful things that we had as children. It got beaten out of us. If you can go back to that childlike state where you can vividly imagine whatever it is that your goal is, it will elicit the emotional response as if you were there. That's in a way a hack to chase the high, the good feeling. So this is why he says successful people are often stubborn and they persevere through all obstacles because they have the natural drive. And when we say the drive, that's tunnel vision for them. They're imagining themselves at the end of their goals so that they never stop. Even when things get difficult, they have the natural high, the emotional roller coaster of imagining what it's going to feel like when I reach exactly what I'm attempting to do. So the difference is when those guys are acting out of the fear that we talked about, scarcity, you've never crystallized anything in your head. The only thing your brain is actually focused on is the negative consequences of you not taking a step forward. I'm falling so far behind. I'm behind on rent. I'm behind on payments. I'm behind on whatever it is in life, anything. And now I have to forcefully take a step forward so I don't end up destitute or face the consequences of my action. So what's pushing you isn't motivation. What's pushing you isn't discipline. It's fear. And what happens to people that are essentially using fear as their propellant forward? When things get tough, fear grows and it paralyzes you. This is why so many people, when they attempt to do something new driven from fear, they will inevitably fail when things get too hard because the negative emotion that drove them there will also shut them down if it becomes, too big to handle, too much stress. People will break, and that's what you hear about it. You can never break if you're chasing a goal, for example, that you've crystallized in your mind, and it's that positive feeling of I can't wait to get there. Nothing can break you because of the excitement. But if you're chasing something through fear, you're constantly on the edge of breaking. It just takes a little push, man, over the cliff, and that's it. You're tumbling rock bottom. That's why that's the difference between people that are self-disciplined and those people that are just simply acting because, the back's against the wall. Scarcity. Oh, it's an okay mindset when it's coupled with that positive image that you have in your mind. If you give yourself no plan B, no way out, this is who I'm going to be no matter what, again, your foundation is completely different. If you're one of these guys that, you wait until last minute to get your life together and you're trying to do everything at once, you don't have anything planned. You didn't route your life out properly. This is what I'm going to do this in the next 6 months, in the next year, in the next 10 years. These are the goals I take every day to get there. That's nothing. You're driven by fear. That's the emotion that comes at the very end of the anxiety that's been building from the thing you should have been doing. And now you're trying to squeeze everything all at once and and get it all done like you're turning in a fucking important exam, last minute. You got a paper doing all this shit. It always, inevitably, it fails.
Yeah, thanks for that. I noticed that I was motivated by scarcity right up until I got a good job. And then I was sitting there thinking to myself, fuck, my cup is pretty full. I almost don't really need to extend energy anywhere else right until the layup.
Yes, that's that feeling safe and, plan B and nothing's going to happen. And, oh shit, now I got to move. Now I'm running out of time. Instead of while you had that, whatever it was that you got laid off from the job, you should have already been planning, what am I going to do in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and then when you got laid off, you wouldn't have even been freaking out or forced to move. You were already naturally moving in that direction and progressing. So being laid off is just a small bump in the road now towards your main goal. You would have still been motivated to go harder instead of, oh, fuck, my life is crumbling. I got to do something. Yeah. It's being proactive in a sense. I guess you can boil it down to that. People that, map out their life goals like that, they imagine themselves at that finish line, the end game, are proactively mapping out their life. So like no matter what happens, you're ready for it because it's worth it in the end. As opposed to the people with fear have no end, right? Like you don't really know where your end is. You're responding to the fear in the moment and all you could see is like right then and there. And the only thing you have vision for is consequences if you don't. But if I asked you what the end goal was of whatever's happening in your life right now, if you're driven by fear, you would have no idea. Oh, I just got to go. I got to get a job. I got to get hired. It's like, that's it. You see right what's in front of you. And that blinds you, man, to the path overall in life. So he has a portion there that I really like, which says, I can achieve anything I'm willing to pay the price for. And we have this notion that some dreams are too big to dream. And that some goals are too big to be achieved, and we kind of set these glass ceilings mentally. The biggest limiter you have is in between your ears. Simply telling yourself, I can't do this is probably the worst thing you could possibly do for yourself. It probably got drilled in your head through childhood. You were told when you said, I'd like to be this. You said it out loud and somebody, either family, your parents most likely, brother or sister or friend told you that was a stupid idea and you'll never become whatever that dream was. That planted the seed in your head that you're not capable and then you discarded your dream. More dreams have been killed by that exact kind of thing happening to people than anything else. It's doubt. Doubt kills dreams. Being told that you're not capable is probably for the guys here that have kids or are about to have kids or thinking of having kids in the future. Never, ever, ever utter those words that you can't do that to your kids. You're literally capping their potential the same way yours was capped. And it's hard once you instill this programming from a young age, like it was in all of us, to undo all this shit because it's literally the core program of how you think. You have to go back and change everything and be mindful of it and catch your brain doing it on autopilot, which is impossible in the moment. It's so difficult. We're not monks. We're not meditating in caves for 20 years to change our psychology. It's just not going to happen. So try not to instill that shit in people, but also understand that it was injected in you like a virus and you have to shake it off when you start to goal plan and you're starting to set some that are very lofty. If you're not setting goals that are making people around you uncomfortable, like people should be looking at you like, are you sure you're going to do that? Like you're going to do that? I had a similar thing when I was hanging around the table with 12 of my guy friends. We were just done hiking and I kind of said I was thinking about starting a YouTube channel and everybody's looking around and saying like, yeah, it's pretty tight. Yeah, that's cool. And then I was like, no. Like I think I'm just going to make it big in YouTube. Watch. There's so many people's videos I'm watching. They're fucking shit. They don't know what they're talking about. And I think I can do better than them. And then all of a sudden, things around me start happening. I meet a guy that's a sound engineer in one of the group of those like 12 guys or so. Then I buy all the equipment. I set the equipment up again. During this entire process, when I'm shopping for all the mics, when I'm shopping for the fucking cameras, your brain is telling you, will this fucking work? Is anybody going to want to hear what I have to say? The doubt, man, the virus that I've been injected with started coming up. But I counter it with delusion, with extreme self-confidence to the point where I could be delusional, obsessed with a goal. So I said, I'm going to make this shit work. I have a good feeling about it. Even though I doubt myself, I kept going. Most people would have stopped at, holy fuck. I mean, it sounded cool, but when I look at the price of the cart for all the equipment, I don't know if I want to do this. Or you post your first few videos and you get 0 views like I did. And like the first 30 videos I posted were 0. I was my own view. I would go watch my own video on the phone and see my analytics say 1 person is on your channel watching. And that was me. And I have screenshots when I saw 2 people, 3 people, and then one day was 7 people. And I was like, holy shit, people are finding the videos. Again, doubt is creeping up at all levels from the very beginning to the even now, even though you're a big YouTuber, you will have questions forever, guys. Whether it's like, can I sustain this long term? Is this just a flash in the pan? Are people interested in what I have to say? Is the niche going to not be, relevant in a few years? Your brain can do this fucking process forever, even when you arrived at the goal. You can be the successful man in the CEO chair with the fucking long ass table playing putt-putt in your private office with your hot assistant, and you will still, after hitting that ball, wonder if you fucking belong there. How the fuck are you sure this is who you are? Can you close that next deal? What if you fail? What if you burn your company to the ground? What if you, declare bankruptcy? All this other shit. It never ends, guys. The point is you have to ignore that shit. You have to be willing to sacrifice everything to get to the end goal. Understand that everything else is noise. All the doubt is noise. The fear is noise. The bullshit that I can't do this. It's all noise. Nothing can stop you until until you quit. There is no obstacle too big in your way until you give up. That's really what it is. That's why he was saying perseverance and consistency are the two things that will make sure you are guaranteed to fucking win in whatever you're doing. Because when you're stubborn and you persevere constantly, you combine that shit. I could look at a guy, if I know he's 100% all in like that, like no matter how fucking hard you make his path, the guy just keeps coming, dude. He's relentless, like a fucking honey badger. He's just always there fighting for his dream. If that's the attitude you have in life, I guarantee you, dude, I'd bet $1 million you would succeed. I don't even need to hear what you have to tell me. If I knew you were all fucking in with no plan B and that's all you eat, sleep, and think about, I tell you, yeah, 100% put fucking money on this guy. He's going to succeed. There's nothing that's going to stop him. But everybody, unfortunately, has shit that stops them. Everybody, man, has these fucking negative voices in their head drilled into them from childhood. We may have had troubled homes that we come from. It's completely destroyed and maybe capped our ability to succeed and blossom in the world. And we're peeling back all those like fucking traumatic layers, you could call them. And there's just a ton of self-work that we have to do. We don't live in a society that teaches us from childhood, hey, this like thinking is important. The concept of how your thoughts roll through your head, the structure of thoughts. Nobody tells you anything. We have like brain hijackers instead, like social media today. These kids are in deep shit. They hardly even think for themselves. They're taught what to think. Imagine we were playing with our fucking sticks for the older guys here. I was raised in Eastern Europe, so all we had was like rocks and sticks that we were fucking playing with. There was no video games, no internet, none of that shit. All you were doing was like holding your stick, hitting your friend with it, and thinking about life. What the fuck you wanted to do next. There wasn't much else. These kids are so distracted today, they hardly have a thought for themselves. Now imagine you have to roll all this shit back that we're rolling back. For them, it's 10 times worse. So competition is kind of in our favor. You just have to be willing to sacrifice everything. And that means giving up playing games with the boys. That means the anime. That means the porn. That means the fucking, if you're a gambler and that's taking over your life. If you're chasing bitches, a lot of men love chasing women. You know, it's everything that takes away from who you could be. Unfortunately, and there's no way around this, once you become, or you have to become obsessed about something. But when you're chasing your goal, man, like when I started my business initially in remodeling and construction, I had no life, guys. You could make fun of me and say I was a nerd. I had nothing going for me. I had no dates, was seeing no women, had no time for anything. I don't know what the fuck a 40, 80 hour week was, because every day I was working every hour of the night. Like somebody at 3 a.m. would be an asshole and email me and wanted a response for something. I was so hungry about just the vision of being a successful businessman that I would get up and answer the email at 3 a.m. like a fucking maniac. I wanted to get everything done the moment it arrived. I wanted to be better than everybody else. I wanted to wow my clients. I wanted to be somebody that they would recommend. And sure enough, all of that pays off because I envisioned that's who I was. Same shit with weight loss, weight gain, or having a nice body. When I looked in the mirror in the gym, when I was working out and super fucking ripped, I don't see who I was while I was building myself up there. I imagined my complete body. I looked in the mirror and I had a form of body dysmorphia, I guess you could call it. I saw what I looked like complete. That made me excited. Every mirror I walked past, and every day when I was walking past people, I was so excited. Just imagining their jaws dropping on the floor, women breaking their fucking necks to look at me. I was just imagining this shit, dude. It got me a surreal feeling that I could grasp that. Like it's here. I just have to do what it is that I have to do in the gym. So I would be motivated to work out when I felt like shit, when I didn't get any sleep. You know, when I was sick, I would still be in the gym and I would still put in all the work I needed to do. I didn't need a song. I was training with it like a maniac with no music because I was on some David Goggins shit back then. I was like, music's for pussies. I don't need any fucking songs distracting me. I'm trying to be in my own brain, you know? And it's like, but you have to get to that obsessed point. It has to be delusional in a way. There's no other way for you to, I guess, pull out of that well of emotion in your body, that energy that you need when times get tough, because every single goal, guys, that you will ever have in life will always have obstacles and setbacks. Nothing ever goes according to plan, dude. That's life. Shit's going wrong all the time. The difference is that other guy didn't let that shit stop him. You can't be the guy that lets it stop you. Everybody here has a goal that they're trying to achieve. I will bet you $1 million fucking dollars each and every one of you will have a setback that will have you questioning if you could do what it is you're trying to do. Every single one of you. And what makes you a success, a winner, or a loser is literally just in that exact moment not letting that shit stop you dead in your track. That's it, man. You have enough of those, you'll reach the end. Most people quit when it gets too hard, you know? Most people quit when the pressure's on, when it seems like everything's failing. And that's literally right before the absolute explosive growth they're about to feel. Like, how many have you heard the stories where like, I was on my last dollar, I was about to fucking quit, I didn't have any more energy in me, and then I got the one client. I was barely hanging on by a thread, and boom, my fucking life changed forever. Dude, it's common. That's the norm, guys. guys. You're going to get tested. You're going to be on the brink of failing. On the other side of that brink of failing is the fucking success. Dude, everything you're chasing, all worth it. It's right there. You have to frame it in your mind like this, that failures are just opportunities in disguise. Don't look at failures as something you're afraid of and it's negative. Want to fail. When a failure comes, it's, I learned a lot. Right now, I can retweak my formula and this will never affect me again. I'm stronger for it. That's how I saw every single obstacle I had in business. I've lost so much money from not knowing how to file paperwork correctly, or documents were sent wrong, or invoices were incorrectly accounted for, blah, 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 blah. Dude, every single fucking thing. I had problems with vendors. I had problems with customers. I had problems with the workers. I had problems everywhere along the way. Nothing was smooth. And that's apart from me putting all the time in. I had to solve on the fly issues that I had no idea would come up. There are going to be things that'll be knocking down your door that you couldn't foresee. You just have to be prepared to walk through and not let it bog you down. No journey is easy. Nothing worth chasing in life is easy. Expect it to be difficult. Frame that in your mind. I'm chasing something so big, so grand, that I know this shit is going to be difficult. And not difficult in a bad way, but difficult as in it's worthy goal for me to chase. This is worthy of somebody of my fucking caliber, you know? And use some energy, man, from the people that tell you can't do shit in life, or that you'll never succeed, or hate on you, or just try to, you know, minimize what you're doing and demean you in any way. Just tell yourself, I'm going to fucking show everybody. Just because they can't do it doesn't mean I'm like them. I'm different. Tell yourself that. Is this the only way you're going to get through everything that life throws at us as men? You know, I like to say in the videos, there's no one coming to save you as a man. We can't get bailed out for our mistake. No one's going to come bust open a wallet, save you from sitting on your ass on the couch, dicking around. We don't have that luxury. All right, enough ear beating. Feel free to speak.
Yeah, that one point on letting people whisper in your ear and kind of get in the way of your creativity. I went to university with a friend who his biggest dream was to go and be like a real estate investor that, you know, buy and sell, buy and flip, rent, whatever. He was into it. And then his girlfriend told him that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life. And he's sitting there making 50 grand a year, right? So I'm like, oh my God, that totally overtook you. And it's interesting too, just like kind of tapping back into that childlike state of play almost. Like it's something that can serve you in like a lot more areas in life. I think that like, and I'm sorry if I just cut somebody off. One more question from me and then I'm good for a bit. But sometimes I have issues kind of getting out of my own head when I think about, you know, because I have a very serious like job and I've been an entrepreneur and I take it seriously as well. And tapping into that state of play has over the years gotten harder, not easier. Is there like an exercise that you'd recommend?
Yes.
Or for guys to kind of like go ahead and get into that mode quicker, faster, stronger?
Yes. It's removing yourself from everything, unfortunately. I know exactly what you mean when you say entrepreneur. Dude, you're plugged in nonstop to your business and it's taking away creativity. You no longer have blocks of creativity throughout the day where you're just allowed to relax and really daydream about shit. What you need to do, my easiest solution that I found, hiking. That's why I always recommend guys go hiking. You need to detach one day, even if you can go half a day. It's good. Go hiking. Go to where if you have something like clean running water. Waterfalls are obviously the best, but just nice rushing water if you can find it. The sound, the deafening sound of the white rapids of water rushing down a stream is incredible to reset. Grab a little blanket, go picnicking, have some like little fruit salad snacks. Bring your girl if you have one, if you trust her and she's not annoying, obviously to ruin the moment and, you know, get into your head with retarded questions about your relationship and all that. But if you have someone that could genuinely enjoy the moment, sure. But go solo, maybe with the boys, maybe with like one that's your best friend that's like your brother. Go out there, bro, get some snacks and just fucking chill and just look at the water, contemplate fucking life, think about, answer the big questions that get your brain, your juices flowing. What am I doing all this fucking work for? Why did I start being an entrepreneur in the first place? What was I trying to achieve? What do I want to be at the end of all this, right? Start crystallizing that image in your head. When you're out there in nature and completely disconnected, your phone doesn't connect to shit, there's nothing distracting you, you'll finally have peace and quiet. Because right now, you can't be creative with every notification going off, completely derailing your train of thought. And then the other thing that we do when we're constantly working like this is like you try to distract yourself with media. For example, a movie, a show, or listening to some music or whatever. But again, that's not being creative. You're consuming. So you're distracting yourself with consumption and then you're working on the other end nonstop and you're always going to be distracted by a phone, a notification, or business. So you're either working or consuming. You have no creative time, no creative play. You have to manually insert that into your day. You have to look at your week schedule and go, today is Saturday. I'm taking the day off. I don't give a fuck what I had to do. but I need a creative day off where I can go, reset my soul. That's what I do. It's so healthy I'd be losing my shit if I couldn't do that. I'll add to this. So the hiking one obviously takes a bit more investment to go somewhere, but a daily one that you can do that's really good to set the tone of your day is simply going on a 1 hour walk in the morning, put some headphones on and drown everything out with noise cancellation and hear shit like this. This is called Sleep Tube. Most people use this for sleeping, but this is a good way to drown out the noise if you're in a city. And you just turn this on and it's just a steady beat like this, and put the volume at whatever level you want it at and go walk. Go walk for 1 hour. You can't return for 60 minutes, and put the phone on silent and turn notifications completely off and just go on a walk, man, and be mindful of the present. The entire exercise here that you're looking to get out of this walk is that you are present in the moment and you're just enjoying looking around at people, buildings, whatever the fuck it is. If you have a park nearby that's green, just go for a walk, sit on a fucking bench, stare at a tree, look at the grass, watch the birds, just detach. If you can start your day like this, I guarantee you those creative juices are going to be exploding. This shit gave me so many ideas doing this stuff. I even do walks at night after eating, say, the last meal. I would go on a walk, dude, when the sun is already set, stars are out, the city lights are there, the water is shimmering on the lake by the park, and I just do a nice little 30-minute, 1 hour walk. And I'm telling you, your brain is automatically, just walking makes you think with just music like this. No lyrics, no crazy beats, just soft, gentle, steady beat per minute like this. And start asking yourself those questions, man, and see. You don't have to go on the hike. The hike is obviously like, it jacks you into the present moment because you're detached from everything and you're in the middle of nowhere. And obviously you start to feel all the elements. We're numb to them living in our houses. We're all in air conditioned spaces and you don't feel the heat. You don't feel the cold. You don't feel the wind. You don't see like the trees moving, nothing. It's very dull for your body here. There's no creativity. You're not stimulating sense. How do you expect to get creativity when you're insulated? There's no stimulus, man. You need stimulus. Yeah. Why are shower thoughts a thing? That's a way to plug your brain in, take a cold shower and then cold plunges eventually. But the rush of hot water or cold water hitting your skin, why does that just absolutely massage your brain into having breakthrough ideas? Ever notice that your brain works so well while you're showering? You're over there having incredible conversations with yourself and you're like, fuck, why didn't I think of that? Or why didn't I say that? And damn, that's a good idea. I need to write that down while you're showering. Why? Because you're stimulating your body. That's touch right there. Extreme touch, water and temperature and the smell of the steam and all that shit. You're present in the moment. Yep. You have to create this present moment for yourself constantly.
Yeah. Plus you're enjoying yourself. You're enjoying yourself in a calm, parasympathetic way. You're resting and digesting. And like it says in psychocybernetics, you put a lot of pressure on an idea. And then at some point after you've really striven powerfully to get your answer, let go. And then the answers pop into your mind. So the shower is a good one for that. And I just wanted to ditto what Bo said. Steve Jobs was renowned. I live close by where Steve Jobs was. Steve Jobs was renowned in this area around here for taking walks 2 or 3 times a day to solve his problem. He would just go for a walk in Palo Alto for half hour, did it over and over again. He had meetings during walks where he would grab people like, hey man, let's just go for a walk. We'll like talk and look at shit. And yeah, that's super. I mean, it worked for Steve Jobs.
Back to basics, guys. Awesome. That's really the key of life. Go back to basics. Go on a walk, look at that cool rock, point it out, tell your friend that rock looks fucking tight. And it's that, dude, we're animals. It's that fucking simple. Don't make this shit more difficult. Hope you guys enjoyed today's talk. We have them 4 times a week. If you want to be a part of them, links are in the description below, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. We also have a free Discord server that just opened up. Looking forward to meeting some new faces, fresh perspectives, new wisdom, and more amazing conversations. See you guys on the next one.